through with all our patterns. So to sew, just take this sleeve, right side of the, place it together like this. You join it by the side, and then you turn it over. You do same for the other one. We're going to be turning this with the lining. We'll turn it on the right side. We'll pick the lining. Place it on it. Place it on it like this. Okay, so we are going to be sewing here like this with half inch seam allowance. After that, you notch it. Okay, we'll notch it round. So after sewing, I'll come back to show you what it looks like. Then before I should tell you the next thing to do for the sleeve. And then for the main fabric, you join this to this. That's what I need to start with. Use the front. So it's going to be on it like this. So you place it on it like this. I'm going to be sewing with 1/4 inch. So you can sew with any seam allowance of choice, 1/4 or half. So after sewing, it's going to be like this. You do same for the back part. We join it together. The neck part should correspond with the zipper allowance side. To be like this. So it's going to be like this after sewing. It's going to be like this after sewing. So I forgot to tell you where to notch for the pockets. You just notch the hip area, sorry, the waistline. So I've placed both of them together again so that you can notch the pocket area. You just notch it together. This is the waist. So the pocket will be between the waist and the hip. So you notch this point like so. this part that is not very trimmed off. When we stitch it to cover it. So this eye is going to be like, okay. So let's join this first, and then I'll come back to show you what it looks like before we do the next thing. So this is what it looks like after attaching the yoke part. So the next is to turn it with the lining. On the right side of the lining, you place it like this. If you are not doing an inseam, if it's an inseam, then you sew all the lining separately. But I'm not doing inseam. So use the lining to turn the neckline. So I'll repeat same for the back pattern. So after that, we'll now flip it to this side. But before you do that, you sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, then you notch it and understitch on the lining. We do same for the back pattern as well. So this is what it looks like after sewing the neckline. You notch it, and then I went ahead to join the side of the front panel. So you just flip it over like this. Then you go and iron it. Iron the side, the neckline. And then this is the back panel. You already sew the neckline. You notch it, and then you understitch. We also understitch on the front part. So the next thing, we are going to sew the zipper line. This is the zipper line. We are going to be sewing this zipper line. Then after that, smoothen this out, and then we also join the side here. We do same for the other side. And then when we are done with that, we flip it inside out and give it a good press. Come back to show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after ironing. This is the back pattern. So we are going to be joining the center back. So just pin them together. Mash them together. So I've already used 1/2 inch to turn the line, so it's remaining 1 inch. Just mark your 1 inch. So we're going to sew along here. So you can use a loose stitch. This is a zip we're going to be using. You mark where the zipper is going to get to. So you use a loose stitch or gather stitch up to this point, and then use your regular stitch from here down. You are going to lose this part later on. Then after that, you take it to the iron, then you press the seam open. You press the seam open like this, okay? Then after that, so make sure that the point where you joined, make sure that it's aligned. This part, make sure it aligns. And then I'm going to take the front piece and place it on it like this. Match the shoulder together. So I'm going to be joining it at the shoulder. So make sure the both align together. So we'll join the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, we are going to join the side with the seam allowance that is remaining. We left 2 inches seam allowance at first. We have used half to turn the lining, so we'll use the remaining. So we are going to be leaving 1.5 on each side. So you can also cross check your measurements again. Remember that on fold we added extra ½ inch. So now that it's opened, that means you add 1 inch. So half of your measurement, you take it plus 1 inch, then you mark. Whatever is left, you share it between both of them. For example, the bust we are working with is 37. You take 37 into 2, and that will give us 18.5 plus the 1 inch freeness, that will be 19.5. So you mark 19.5. And then we have 1, 2, 3 left. So that is, so you're going to share 1.5 on both sides. So you mark 1.5 here. Then you also mark 1.5 here. So that in between, we will now have 19.5. You do same for the waistline and then for the hip. Then you connect all the lines. Okay, so that's how you're going to join the side. And then for the shoulder, you pick it like this. You bring this side to it like this. But you are going to join the shoulder first before joining the side. You turn it, lining towards lining like this. So just arrange it, and then you stitch here. You do same for the other side. So when you are done with that, you now join the side the way I've explained. Okay, and then we'll come back to show you what it looks like. So we have, after joining the shoulder, this is how the shoulder looks like. Then I've gone ahead to take the measurement and add the extra and add ease allowance. You know, it's a straight dress, it's not fitted, so I've added some inches here. So you can go ahead and mark like this, and then join the sides. So this is what it looks like after joining the side. So we are going to reconfirm the armhole. So you can just fold that like this. Put it together like this. And then use your pin to secure it. and then you confirm the armhole. The bust circumference divided by 4. So that is 9 inches. And remember that I've added a little allowance to it. So this is 9.5. So we should have, so we have 9 inches. So you can just make it neat, just trim it to be neat. Okay, so we are okay with the armhole. So the next thing now, let me show you how to place the pockets. Turn it to the wrong side. So you mark the waistline. This is the waistline. You can measure it to be sure that it's correct. 7.5. These are 7.5 feet. So we are going to be, this is where we are going to be attaching the inside here. So just mark it. So you can go ahead and sew the pockets. Leaving ½ inch ability to join here, you can just sew here on, or you can also place it together. This is going to be here like this. Let it, bring it close, ½ inch away from the seam here. Okay. So you do same for this side, right side to right side. So position them well, making sure that they align. So check your pockets, and then if there's any excess, just trim it before you do this part. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Let me just use pin to secure this. So after securing it like this, you go back. I'll just use a chalk to mark for you to see it. You sew from here again into the pocket like this, back here into the seam. So after that, you are going to lose this joining at the side here. We are also going to lose here. Okay, so we'll do same for the other side. I'll come back to show you what it looks like after sewing. So this is what we have. The pocket is ready. I've loosed the seam. So this down part, just fold with the seam allowance that you have. Check your length and then fold with the seam allowance. So we are done with this, remaining the sleeve. It's looking all beautiful already. This is the pocket. See it? This is the other side. So here is the sleeve after joining the side. Then I just turn it, iron it, and then use a stitch to hold here down, to hold the main fabric and the lining together. I did same here. Just use a stitch to hold it in place. And then this is the flare part of it. After sewing, I notch it, so I'm going to tack here again. It's always double stitch. While I was trimming, I trimmed it. That is how it's opening. So this is the two flare. So you just cross check that. You check what you have here, that it corresponds to here. Okay. If it is more than, then you can pleat it or do gathers. Okay. So I'm going to do mine such that it will just be okay. And then we are going to be adding elastic to this down part. But before we do that, we'll close up the side. So to close up the side, just simply flip it like this. I'll flip it like this. And stitch with the same allowance that I want, 0.25. So if you are depending on the same allowance that you have left, if it's 0.25 or it's ½ inch, I'll do same for the other side. So once I flip it like this, I'm going to take note of where the elastic is going to be. There's going to be an elastic. Okay, there's going to be an elastic. So to sew the elastic casing, there are two ways you can do it. So when I'm joining this side, I can leave an opening of say ½ inch. That means if I stitch here, I'll leave ½ inch before I continue. Another way you can do it is that after sewing to the end, then I'm going to top stitch on top here okay, with let's say 0.75, because I'm using a half-inch band, a half-inch elastic band. So I will create the casing such that an elastic can go through. So you measure your elastic and then add the necessary seam allowance. So remember that here is going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Okay, so if you like, before, from this point, let's say 1 inch, 1 inch from 1 inch from this place, you will not sew it, then sew the rest. So that part is where we are going to use to pass in our elastic, 1 inch or 0.75. so that means when I want to turn it like this, I'm supposed to sew like this. Okay, so I'll mark 0.75 or 1 inch before I start, so I won't stitch to this point, so that I don't have to start losing it at the end. So just leave some allowance here, leave on the other side as well. So after sewing, then now sew a top stitch here for the elastic casing. Just sew it down. Then after I've done that, then I'm now going to attach this part to this part. Let me bring pins to so let me just pin it for you to just attach it. You attach it like this. You attach it to this side. Okay, so after that, just notch around the curvy area, the curved area, so that it can relax. So you're going to be having something like this when we are through. So you're going to have something like this. Okay, so this is, then you measure the armhole of the dress. Measure the armhole and then check what you have. Then you have a seam allowance. So after measuring, the seam allowance is what you're going to use to now join this side. So now put it together like this. Remember that this part is open, so we are going to close it later. So you just stitch from here and stop 1 inch before the end. Okay, so you do same for the other sleeve. So I'll show you what it looks like before we pass the elastic. To measure the elastic, just use your bicep. It doesn't have to be too tight. So the bicep I'm working with is 14. I'll just subtract 1 inch from that. So I'm going to make use of 13. Then after stitching, it's going to be like 12.5. So that is what you measure out. I'll measure out 2. 1 for this and 1 for this. I'll show you what it looks like after putting the elastic. I'll show you what it looks like before and after putting the elastic. So this is what it looks like. I've added the sleeve, but I've not put the elastic yet. So I marked 0.75 and then I top stitch to create the elastic casing. I'm going to be using this elastic. The length of this elastic is 9 inches and the elbow round is 11 inches, so it's just okay. So you put a safety pin on both ends like this. and then you pass it through the opening. So keep doing that until you have the safety pin out on both ends. So this is what it looks like. So use the safety pin to secure the elastic. So the next thing is to close up the side. So you are closing here by half inch. Just use your pin to hold them together. Then around the bicep, you use your bicep measurement divided by 2. And then on the here, the armhole, take your armhole measurement and mark it, and then just join it here like this to the side, and then the sleeve will be like this. So fixing our sleeves, and then we fold it down on the dress and fix our zipper, and that is all. So I'll show you the final look on the mannequin. This is Joy Dala Fashion Guide. So here is the final look of our dress. It's looking so beautiful. This is Joy Dala Fashion Guide. Please ensure to subscribe to my channel, like my video, share my videos. This is Joy Dala Fashion Guide.